So we'll do that. And again, just you have to remember to like unmute yourself before speaking. So, okay. So with no further ado, I'm Abby Delaney, founder and president of Key Log Rolling. And it's really nice to see you all here. This has kind of been one of those pandemic silver linings, getting to connect with everyone with all of our programs, new and old, across the country in this new format. Our mission, vision for Key Log Rolling is to make log rolling an Olympic sport. And there's a lot of education that is involved in that, in terms of educating people about how to log roll and, how to put on these events and how to start a program. And it's, we're based in Minneapolis and a small startup. And so this is a great way but we have customers all across the country, across the world. And so this is a great way to connect with everyone and be able to give you the information that you need to start a really great program. So we will be continuing this webinar, quote unquote, series sort of regularly. I think we're going to take a week or two off, but stay tuned for more topics. We started kind of general with just log rolling for camps or log rolling for park and rec or log rolling 101. And now we're going to get a little bit more specific with these topics in terms of, again, how to put on log rolling as a special event, different types of classes, how to put on a log rolling tournament. And if you have questions or ideas for a theme or a topic, please feel free to send it to us, because we can do that really easily. And if you're wondering it, I'm sure others are as well. And so we'd love to share that with everyone. I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes or so. So I know everyone's busy and Zoom fatigue. So we will try to get, the bulk of the information out to you. If you have questions, I'm always happy to set up a time later to talk specifically about your program. I love connecting with you guys. So here we go. So log rolling for special events is super fun. It is a huge draw. It's captivating. Log rolling is, draws in a crowd. People see it and they immediately make a beeline over to it. And they're like, what is going on over there? We have to check that out. We have to try it. So it's really fun for events because there's participation, there is engagement from the crowd. Even if you are not log rolling, you're having fun watching others try it and see what's going on. It's entertaining. And it can be a really great way to bring your programming. If you are an aquatics programmer and you work at a aquatics facility, but you want to show the community what you have to offer from your aquatics facility, this is a really great way to bring one of your aquatics activities out into the community. Or if you're a college, if students aren't already lap swimmers or already going to the pool, they might not, even know that you have log rolling. And so this is a great way to bring log rolling out to meet them where they're at a welcome week event or homecoming week for a community. That might be, street fair festival. So it's really conducive. It's an activity that is pretty conducive to a lot of different venues, I guess I would say. I would also say that we do find, as you'll see here in these photos, that people are, even if they didn't come to the event knowing that they were going to get wet or that the log rolling was going to be there, they're usually pretty willing to jump in and give it a try. We have lots of photographs of people log rolling in jeans, log rolling in dresses. It's one of those activities that you see it and you're like, okay, I just got to give it a try. And the water doesn't need to be very deep. And we'll talk about that later. But if it's a hot day, people are willing to kind of roll up their jeans, roll up their sleeves and jump in. And that makes it actually even more fun. So what I think it's helpful to, and I've said this in a lot of different, several of the webinars, but when you're first starting out with anything, I think it's helpful to think about what are your goals for adding log rolling to your event. Are you trying to raise money for your program? Is it for a charitable cause? Are you simply trying to build awareness for your program? Or are you just looking for something fun to add to the event? Because that will help guide you on, some of the logistical stuff, how you want to format it, whether you're going to charge or not charge, or how long you're going to have it. Are you going to open it up to anyone to try, or do you need to register? So it's helpful just, to think like, okay, what are some of the things that we want to get out of this first before you're starting? And then that can help guide some of your decisions. So where can you add log rolling to an outdoor event? Well, really anywhere, but just more specifically, street festivals and fairs are super fun. Farmers markets, other sporting events like 5K fun runs, marathons, biking events, triathlons, stand-up paddleboard races. Other areas would be maybe you're partnering with a local business. A really big thing here in Minneapolis with some of the log rolling clubs is to do like brewery events. And I can talk about that a little bit at the end, show you some photos. But partnering with local breweries, and they set up the pool and people, log roll for the afternoon. It's super fun. If your community has a polar plunge, believe it or not, log rolling is super fun for that as well. So if people are already out there doing a polar plunge, log rolling is kind of a cool little flashy thing to add to it. Again, we're in Minneapolis, so that's where a lot of the events and stuff that we do, where that's coming from. But here, of course, in Minneapolis, we have tons of lakes. There is a polar plunge in March that the police department puts on. And it's for the Special Olympics, and the local log rolling club did a super fun, right before the polar plunge actually started, the log rolling club did their own little thing for people to watch, and they were log rolling and then plunged and then got out. So it was like fun for people to watch, and a little bit, it just added something fun to the event. So lots of places. And also, I mean, I guess I would add that, primarily a lot of the things we're going to be talking about here are within the context of setting up this like an inflatable pool or something street side, but beachside, lakeside events are super fun. If you're like at an indoor aquatics facility and you want to have an open house or have some sort of event in the pool, of course, this all applies as well. So just some of the event logistics to think about. Obviously duration. How long is your event going to be? If it's multi-day, there's going to be a little bit more that you need to think about in terms of, is the pool going to be set up overnight? What's the security involved in that? Do you need to think about, draining and refilling? If it's just, a day-long event or an afternoon event, you don't have to think about those things as much, and you can probably fill it up once and you're fine for the rest of the day. What is the format of the event? Is this like an event that people have to register for? Is there just going to be free flowing traffic around the pool, and you need to think about, how are people going to come in to are people going to need to sign waivers? Where are you going to be forming your line? you want to just kind of think about that stuff, especially when we get to kind of the setup part. Staffing, are you just going to have one pool? And so to think about, I would recommend if you are doing something where it's like one pool setup, and if you do need to either collect waivers or take money, you're going to need to have one person managing that. I usually then recommend one person kind of outside of the pool managing the line. And it's also helpful for that person that's standing outside of the pool to be giving people some instruction in line before they get into the pool. So if they're standing out, kind of along the side, and the person that's next up in line, or the couple people in line, say, okay, when you guys get in, this is how log rolling works. There's going to be the staff person in the pool holding the log. Have them go over the basics of log rolling. You want to bend your knees, put your arms out for balance. Don't look at your feet, look at the other side of the log, and keep your feet moving really fast. That'll kind of help the person that's in the pool, so that that when people are jumping in and giving it a try, they've already, gotten those instructions, and it just helps things flow a little bit easier. Then you don't have someone jumping into the pool, kind of standing there, getting the information, getting the lesson, and then jumping up. So it's helpful if the participants are getting the instruction before they get in the pool, so that as soon as they get in the pool, they're log rolling. And so someone is always log rolling. And again, that's helping then bring people, you want that person up on the log rolling, so that people walking by are seeing, oh my gosh, what's going on over there? Let's go check it out. It just helps things flow really a little bit better. So staffing. So again, one person maybe at that, at the table, either having waiver sign, collecting money, if that's what you're doing, one person outside managing the line, one person in the pool that's teaching. And then, obviously having some sort of runner, someone that's relieving other people, is helpful as well. If you're doing this as part of a larger event, of course, you're going to have other staff doing other things. So there's going to be a lot, but those are kind of like the three main jobs in terms of actually facilitating the log rolling part of it. Another thing to think about is, are you going to have a sound system with this? Obviously, having some music there is super fun. It gets everyone moving and dancing and having fun. It also, obviously just having music at the events is fun, but having some sort of like PA can be helpful, because log rolling is new to people, and walking by, they might not know exactly what it is. And so it's really great to educate people, especially if you're doing this to promote your program, get people to, come sign up, to have someone that's on a PA, explaining to passersby, what's going on here, what is log rolling all about, how can you get involved, come give it a try, because it's, again, it's brand new for people, and people just walking by, it might not be so obviously, clear to them what's going on. So it is nice to have that speaker system and have someone on the mic that's just kind of giving people information and telling them where they, come give it a try. Like, this is for everyone, bringing people in and instructing them to, where if they need to sign the waiver or pay or whatever they need to do. That's pretty helpful. Another thing to think about is, do you want to have a tournament or some sort of challenge as part of it? Do you want to, is it just going to be demos, or and a chance for people to try it? Or do you want to have a little bit more of an organized type activity going on? I will say that it's really, we've kind of started to do these, what we call pop-up tournaments. And that has been super fun, because one, it's a way to get people in the pool, like practicing, and they're like, oh, I want to do the tournament. Okay, I'm going to go and do a couple demos and give it a try. And then I'm going to do the tournament later on in the day. It also is a little bit kind of focuses the event a little bit more, I would say, in terms of, people know, okay, at 3:00, we're going to come back and we're going to watch the log rolling tournament. And when I say tournament, I mean, this is like really basic beginner. These are people that have just maybe tried log rolling for the first time that day. And that's the cool thing about log rolling, is that you can compete in a tournament even as a brand new beginner. And it also is great because it educates, here are these kids. This was at the state fair. They came and tried log rolling earlier in the day. We said, hey, the first 20 people that sign up for the day today that want to be in the tournament, it's at 3:00. So come back. And we just had like a really easy single elimination bracket. We had kids of all ages. We didn't worry about, proficiency levels or ages or anything. They were all able to do it together. And people had a great time watching. The kids had fun. We gave a prize out at the end. And then that tournament, then afterwards, everyone else was like, oh, I want to give that a try. So it got more people into the pool coming to give it a try, which is super fun. Maybe you have like a leaderboard throughout the day. We've done that where you have, you might have a whiteboard up or something where people come and they try to see how long they can stay on, and you have a running leaderboard. And it's like, if you think that at 5:00, whoever has stayed on for the longest today gets some sort of prize. And so then also, again, it's a great way to get people to come back at 5 to see who won, or like, did I make it? Or you might get people saying, oh shoot, my time was beat. And then they come back and, try to get on again to see if they could stay on even longer. You can also just like throughout the day, maybe like at random times, hey, we're going to have a challenge to see who can hop on 1 foot 5 times on the log today, or like at 1:00, and whoever can do it, gets a hat or gets, a free pass to come to the facility, or, whatever your prize is. That's a fun thing to do too. So we'll hear this just photographs, like, again, having someone on the mic is super fun. This is just, the other photograph is like if you want to have some sort of sign, if you don't have someone that's there managing the line outside of the pool, or you want to just have, some sort of signage to tell people what this is all about. That's helpful. If you actually did want to put those together, I can send you the artwork and artwork files for that if you wanted to like print out a sign to have at the event. So site setup, this is what a lot of people are always wondering about. Size of the pool. You don't need, so key logs are a little under 12 feet in length. And there are different types of pools that I can send you information on. I would say you want at least a 15-foot diameter pool. If you're doing a pool, obviously if you're at a lake or wherever, you just need the space. At least 15 feet in diameter, or, if you're building something or you have a box, I would say 15 feet wide, by then probably like 20 feet. The inflatable ones are nice because, they're soft-sided, they're like easy to put up, relatively easy to store. If you are doing you want to also think about, like, are you going to be doing your event on concrete or in the grass? If you are doing it on concrete, I do recommend putting some sort of padding underneath, whether that's just like some cheap carpet scraps that you have, or some sort of, carpet like padding underneath. Rubber floor mats. It's helpful. When people fall off, you want to have a little bit of give. It's just under their feet. And also for the volunteers or for the person in the pool, it's helpful to have, or just as like if they're going to be standing in the pool all day, it's nice to have a little bit of cushion underneath. So I would lay something down first. So I'd lay some, some sort of matting. Then you might even want to put like a tarp down over that. That helps protect your pool, from any rocks or things that might puncture it. Then filling the pool. You're going to need more than just a garden hose. So a couple different ways to fill it quickly. A garden hose would just, unless you have like 5 of them or something and you can hook them all up or stick them all in the pool, it would just like take all day to fill up the pool that you need. A couple different ways. The fire department is actually, if you're doing a community event, the fire department is a great group to call, and they will either come, they can help bring a hose to a nearby fire hydrant, fill it up pretty quickly. A lot of times also they have like water trucks, and they'll just like bring a truckload of water and open it up and fill up the pool within 5 minutes or so. There are like water, tank people that local companies that you could call. Here in Minneapolis, I think when we've done it, maybe it's like $150, maybe $200 for them to bring a truckload of water and fill up the tank pretty fast. Trying to think and you also, if you can't like get the fire department to come, you usually can rent from your municipality a fire hydrant key and a hose, and you could fill it up yourself, and you just need to let them know, and there's like some sort of fee. So that's another way to go about it. But it is kind of fun if it is a community event. It's fun to get the fire department involved. Like they're happy to come over and do it, and makes it like a nice community event. So that's filling up the pool. In terms of the site setup, you do want to think about crowd flow. Again, people are going to come watch. So you want to make sure that, wherever the crowd flow is, that there's like plenty of space for people to stop and, watch what's going on. And maybe give like a little bit of a buffer in front of the pool so that you have people kind of standing back so that everyone can see. You also want to think about the crowd flow in terms of where people coming to, if they do have to sign waivers, where are they coming to sign waivers, and then they're signing that waiver, and then where are you directing them to enter the pool. It's nice to have a designated area where people are entering the pool. Otherwise, with kids in an event, like and it's water and they just want to like just jump right in and climb over the edge into the pool. So to have kind of a designated entering area is nice. Having, some sort of table or tent there, just to kind of stage things is nice as well. Lastly, I wanted to go through some different some different photos, and basically talk about a few kind of like different types of events that, or a few different things about these events that people have done. So this was, at a local park. It was a girls' summer camp. They set up the pool on Friday and had it open for the girls' like adventure camp. And as you can see, like this was a little bit of a smaller thing. It wasn't necessarily a public event. So, all the girls are kind of hanging out on the edge of the pool watching. But then the next day there was a community trail run. And so they left the pool up, and at the finish, after the trail run, everyone tried log rolling. So you can see the water was a little dirty because I think everyone was muddy from mountain biking and stuff throughout the day. But that was great because, everyone was already there, like right in there, in their athletic clothes, ready to jump in, and pretty fun. This was actually an event in Korea. There's a group of log rollers in Korea, and this was at like a swim trials. So that's not, again, like these different partnering with different sporting events. We did one time the U.S. Olympic swim trials, which was super fun. Um, you can see the pool there is a little bit of a different format. These types of pools are actually like pretty easy to buy custom made. On the website Alibaba, you can find different manufacturers in China that will make these inflatable pools, and you can actually make them custom, and you can have your graphics put on. And it's a little bit more of an investment, but they will last really long. They're pretty durable, as opposed to a few other just kind of like cheaper inflatable pools that you could get here that you could order on Amazon. This is was like a community lakeside festival. So again, just right at the beach, you can see it's drawing a crowd. People are coming to watch, just sitting on the beach. I think that they did like a tournament here. So, obviously people are watching this tournament. It was pretty shallow, just right at the beach. Again, really easy for people to be watching and trying and moving through the event. Let's see this last one. So this was, I think this was at a brewery. And just to tell you a little bit about how this event happened, and we found that this was like a good format, is, it was on a Saturday, got a couple local businesses involved in it to help partner and promote it. They did, opened it. I think the event started like around 1:00 and had demos for a few hours, just open, people coming to give it a try. I think it was something like $5 for 5 tries, loosely. And so, people pay their $5, they come up, get a little lesson, give it a try. And then there was a tournament with this one, and they, again, it was like, they just had a bracket, and they said the first 16 people to sign up, you can be put in the bracket, and then all the local businesses that were involved donated something as a prize package at the end. And excuse me, these were all brand new beginner log rollers. No one had done it before. So, men and women log rolling together. It was super fun. The thing that I would say about doing some sort of tournament like this is I definitely don't wait until the very end of the event to do the tournament. And I say that because after we did the tournament, that was really when the fun began, and everyone like really, they saw the tournament and they were like, oh, I can do that. I want to get in there. And so after the tournament, everyone, wanted to give it a try. And so then we ended up like staying way longer because we had such a long line for people wanting to give it a try. So, if you wanted to do some sort of tournament with it, don't wait until the very end, do it a little bit earlier, leave some time at the end, and then people can come and try afterwards. Because once they see that new beginners can do it and can compete, they're, a little bit more motivated, or they see like, oh, I can do that too. I just lost my train of thought. I was going to say one more thing about that. Hopefully I'll remember it. So let's see, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to just go into the Q&A here and see what sort of questions we have. Okay. Do I have to know how to log roll to give instructions and run an event? That is a very good question. You do not have to know how to log roll to run a really fun log rolling event. And this is, I talked about this in webinar. I've talked about this in our Logging 101 webinar. You can run a really great log rolling program or log rolling event without being a great log roller. And I've actually found this, that I had this realization doing an event that the transfer of knowledge with log rolling happens very easily. So I was at there's an event here in Minneapolis called the Aquatennial, and it's a community event that celebrates water. So of course we were at the lake log rolling, and I was teaching some kids. We had we were beachside. I think we had 3 to 5 logs out all day, ran 500 people through the event. And I was teaching some kids how to log roll, and then they kind of moved on to another log. They had gotten, they'd figured it out, and they wanted to move on to another log with fewer training fins. And I looked over the corner of my eye and I saw one of the kids that I had literally just taught. It was his first time log rolling, and he's there now giving other kids instructions. And it just made me realize that, he was able to take what I taught him, and then he was easily able to then share that with his friends. And he was like, no, bend your knees, move your feet fast, look at the other end. You don't have to be a great log roller to be a great log rolling teacher. And you also don't have to know how to log roll to run a really fun log rolling event. If you have a couple of staff that know how to hold the log in the water and can give really basic instructions, and be encouraging and bring people into the event, you can run a great log rolling event. You don't need to be an expert at it. Let's see, I'm going to look at some other questions here. Okay. How deep does the water need to be? Is it safe to log roll in a small pool? Very good question. So as you'll see in a lot of these photos, the pool or the water depth is about knee deep. The reason why it doesn't need to be super deep is because the way that people fall when you're log rolling, when you fall off, you fall feet first. You have to really go out of your way to dive off the log. And especially when people are in, a shallow water pool, they know I can't dive in this. Obviously, safety's sake, you need to give people, you do need to manage it in terms of, even if it's an event where people are drinking beer, or you want to make sure that everyone is being safe, and you don't want to let anyone into the pool that seems inebriated or seems like they're not going to be safe. We've done several events, big, the Minnesota State Fair, 12 days long, thousands of people. And we've never had a bad experience or an accident. You do need to be cognizant of who's trying it. And there have been times where we've said no, you can't get in the pool. But it is safe in this small pool, especially with the inflatable sides. People just fall off feet first. We've never had any injuries. Again, when you're falling off in log rolling, the reason why you're falling is because your body weight is going away from the log, and but your feet are going first. So as I mentioned, the pool, 15 feet in diameter, 18 feet in diameter, that's a nice size for it. And depth, 20, anywhere from 24 inches to 22 to 26 inches in depth. But really the shallower, the easier it is to get up on the log when you're first trying it, and people have a good experience with that. Okay, I'm just going to go through these questions. Can you give some specific ideas for running an event at a camp? Yes. So in terms of for camp programming, it's more of a camp-wide log rolling tournament that you're going to do at the waterfront, and it might be something that the kids know that okay, at the end of the session this week, we're going to have a log rolling tournament, and maybe you might only have the kids that really got into log rolling that week signed up, but everyone's going to come down and watch it because it's really fun to watch log rolling. I was talking with a camp director one time, and he said they had a really great experience when they did their log rolling camp, or log rolling tournament. It was in an evening, and maybe 20 of the campers competed, but everyone came down to watch. And he said it was a really cool experience to have all of the campers sitting around on the beach watching. All of their energy was focused on the two kids in that one particular match at that time. Observing, like cheering them on, seeing how they had, improved their log rolling skills that week. So that's, even though, not everyone is competing at the same time. You might just, if it's a tournament, you might be running one or two matches at once. So not everyone is participating in the sense that they're, not all on the soccer field or whatever, but they are participating in the sense that they're cheering each other on. They're watching, they're observing, and they're engaged, which is nice, and not always the case when it's like everyone doing the activity at the same time. You could add it into like a color war. It could be something that if there's multiple events or multiple activities, and log rolling is one, and maybe they have to run down to the beach and they have to log roll for a certain amount of time before they can move on to the next activity. Or they're going to go and they're going to have head-to-head matches against the other team. So it kind of depends on exactly how you're running your color warrior tournament. I'm happy to talk with you more specifically about that, or your waterfront staff more specifically about that. Let's see here. Okay, so for a community center, how can I get more people to sign up for a log rolling program if they don't know what it is? Okay, so this is why these events are so great, is that it's a great way to educate people, to get them to come back to the pool, to your actual like indoor facility or your aquatics facility. I've even seen park and rec programs that will use they actually say, oh, it was really fun, we had log rolling, but it was a great way to promote all the other things too that we had. So if you're a park and rec department or a YMCA and you're going to be participating in this particular community event, and you're going to have the pool and people are going to come try log rolling, and you have your table there, and I would suggest you have, one, obviously, if you're going to be offering log rolling classes, like have your signups there, say, hey, did you like log rolling today? Well, come back because we have lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting next session. But you could also, if you're a whole program and you want to be, hey, sign up for baseball this week, or again, it's just a draw to get people there. So sign up for swim lessons. So I definitely recommend that if your goal is of the event is to be building awareness or promoting your program, it is really important to have that information there for people when they come to give it a try, so you can direct them back to it. Let's see, any other? Okay, if you are in 5 to 6 feet of water in a lake, can these be anchored? Yes, they can. We do have anchoring bags and a way to anchor the helix. So there's anchoring straps that go on either end of the log, and they're all on swivel hooks. And then you can connect an anchor line. So we have anchor bags that you can fill with weight and then just like throw in the water. But if you are at a lake and you're in like really deep water and you need to secure it, just, however you anchor your other like inflatables, or if you have mooring lines for your sailboat. So we have these straps that can go on either end of the log. Again, they're on swivel straps. So the log will still spin, but it won't move. It'll stay anchored in one spot. You don't have to worry about it, going out into the middle of the lake. So it is, so the next question, the follow-up question was, how does the attendant help stabilize the log in deeper water? I will say that this is a little bit more challenging. If it's 5 feet of water and you're tall enough and you can stand and still hold the log, someone can be standing there, in the water holding it. There are different inflatable platforms that you can kind of pair with your key log. I will say we're actually working with an inflatable stand-up paddleboard company to design one right now. Unfortunately, we don't have it yet. But where you could either like sit on that inflatable platform holding the log in between your legs. And then people can jump on either from the water, can step on from the inflatable platform onto the log, is nice. But there are resorts, there are people that I've seen, that don't have beaches, and they throw the log out there and guests come and they're all, just kind of playing on the log, jumping on, jumping off. There are ways to make it work. And again, happy to work with you. Like if you want to send me some photographs of where your site is, I help you come up with some more specific solutions for that. Let's see, one more question about where to, okay. So about buying pools, or like where, I will say right now with the pandemic, there was like a run on these inflatable pools last year. It used to be really easy to find. There's this company Intex, and there was another company that you could find them on Walmart that made this inflatable pool that was, at that point, or when I used to buy them, they were like pretty well priced, like around $200. I did notice that during the pandemic, when everyone was buying like backyard pools and that kind of stuff, they became a little bit harder to find, and they also jacked the price up a little bit on them. But you can still find them. I have been finding them. You can look on Walmart, look on Amazon, just keep your eye out. They're always kind of like circulating. But again, these Intex is one brand. And then there's some others that are similar. They're about, you can find them in different diameters and depths. Usually, like, again, I recommend anywhere between like the 15-foot diameter, the 18-foot diameter. And they also come in different depths. But the thing about those pools is that there's like an inflatable ring. And then as you fill the log with water, that the ring raises the sides of the walls of the pool up. So even though it says it might be like a 4-foot diameter pool, you don't have to fill it up 4 feet. So you could just like fill it up less, and then it won't be as deep. But again, you also can find them, the other inflatable pools on, it's a little bit funky and you gotta have an experience, but there are a lot of manufacturers on the website Alibaba that will make a custom pool for you, and they're super used to doing it. And you give them your dimensions, you can even give them your logo. And I do know that one of the local log rolling businesses, a woman here in the Twin Cities, that has her own inflatable pool. She runs a summer business doing events and workshops with her key logs. And I can even put you specifically in touch with the manufacturer that she used, and she had a really good experience with them. Let's see, another question. Any suggestions about moving a log in and out of the water? Do kayak wheels work? Yes, that they do work. Any sort of, if you're having to like take them, to and from a beach, any sort of kayak dolly, just you can put one end of the log on the kayak dolly, and then put a strap around the other end and pull it. Or you could put the log on, if you have 2 dollies, and just put both ends of the log on an end of the log on each dolly, and then just cart it away. But once you drain them, 2 people can carry them. So, you put the logs in the water, you fill them up with water. And then when you're done, you open them up, drain the water out, and then 2 people can just pick them up and move them. If you're loading them up on your roof rack or whatever, they're not, at that point, then they're like 65, 70 pounds again. But it is nice to have if you're doing an event on your own, like if you're going to bring a log down to the beach and do demos, or have it's 1 or 2 staff people, those kayak dollies work really well. So let's see, let's see. I think that's all the questions. I'll open it up. I'm just gonna stick around. If you want to hang out and chat, that's great. If not, catch you guys next time. And again, always feel free to call, email me directly. We really want to help make this a fun summer of log rolling for you. And I really enjoyed sharing this information, and stay tuned for more webinars to get more information about building and growing your log rolling program. Thanks, everyone.